Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing this beautiful Wednesday, the first Wednesday in the month of November? And this happens to be the 11th month in this month. Happy New Month for those of you joining us. I mean, again, this, like I said before, this is the first Wednesday of the month. I believe that we're doing really well. This is the Find Your Voice and Own Your Space series where business professionals, business leaders, they have conversations, we discuss how they've been able to find their voice and how they are currently owning their spaces in their different spheres of influence. Last week, we had quite an insightful conversation with the one and only Tululope Kolade T Code, who is playing a very big role in the voice acting industry, and we navigated the impact of leadership, passion, and legacy, looking beyond yourself, knowing that yes, even though I know what to get from every other person, but how can I make this industry not serve only me, but other people, not only in my home country, but in Africa as a continent, being able to cater to voiceover artists in Nigeria and Africa at large. Now, today, we're going to take a very quick move to the creative industry in the space of communications and public speaking. And it's really beautiful because I met this particular gentleman about a year ago. Amazing, amazing human being. Like his presence, his stance, the kind of conversations that we've had to share. He's quite an excellent person. He's also my brother in Christ. Yeah, he's my sibling in Christ. Yeah, we are children of Heroin Salvation Church International. Whoop whoop. Anyways, it's my pleasure and delight to bring up my friend, my brother, my colleague in the public speaking space. We're going to, look into how you can command rooms and how he's able to shuttle between being a public speaker, a master of ceremony, and also a brand communications executive because he also happens to play as a brand communicator in the real estate industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Isaac
Oh
As
my
always,
God.
my
Thank you
guests,
so much for
they
having
always
me.
plan me on this show. They just go and look fine and come and show up. I don't slack. I always bring up guests that
You,
always look paying. Do you understand me now?
look at the way I'm blushing already. But thank you so much for having me, Lady Jade. Or should I say Jadi Sola. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Finding Your Voice. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I'm elated. I'm glad, and thank you for doing this with me. It's beautiful to see young people, being able to find their voice because some 10, 15 years ago, this was not like it was really sketchy. It was really
True, it
sketchy. But
was.
15 years after, we have people having actual careers, and being a copy master of ceremonies, being a brand and communications strategist. It's a big deal, especially in the terrain that we have to play today. So, when did all of this start? I mean, somewhere at the back of my mind, my default would be you were that child that couldn't stop talking. You were that child that when they're saying names of noisemaker, they write Isaac times 10, Isaac times 100. He cannot keep quiet. Is he talking, talking? I want to believe that you're one of those children that in your report card will say he talks too much.
Allow my Yasaba.
Okay, what was that? What the heck?
So,
What was
so
that?
that is the phrase from a popular Nollywood movie. I think that movie should be like 10 years now.
Wow.
It was a fictional story of a goddess that you have to go and suck a very enlarged
Ooh.
bulbs to get money.
Oh
So that's
wow.
Alawanya Saba. So it traded for a while in Delta State.
Okay.
But very far from it, right? I wasn't one of those kids that was always talking. Mhm. But I think now I am proud of it. So back
Hmm.
then when I was growing up, I wasn't so proud that I was a preacher's kid, or that I'm still a preacher's kid. I come from a family of
Don't
priests.
worry.
So my father, my mother, my brothers are pastors.
I can
And then people
relate.
always ask me, why are you not a pastor? I'm like, oh, God did not. ringing my phone.
It's not a
You know,
conference call. It's
but
an individual call.
yeah, it's not a conference call. So from primary school days,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was very intelligent kid, no doubt about that. But I wasn't so very self-expressive.
Mm.
I wasn't shy, I wasn't timid, neither was I well put together.
Mm.
No, I wasn't either. But I was just somewhere in between. We read the news on the assembly, and that was just it
Wow.
for primary school. Secondary school, I loved to participate in the arts, but I was a science student. So people don't really know that. Pure science student, but I love to participate in the arts. And my love for literature and theater was just there, growing, and it was so beautiful. But journeying into the university, when I started to take a hold of my life,
Mm.
now I will clearly say that my life started critically as a fashion model. That was where my life started from. Yes, I modeled. Yes, I did beauty pageants. I did the runways. I did the editorials. I never knew I was even going to be a presenter. Or I was going to talk for a living
Mm.
and earn money by being a talker. I never had that intention. But fast forward to my second year in the university, I became the first guy to become Mr. Delta State University,
Mm.
and that really opened some certain doors for me. But fast forward to my second year in university, they wanted to do my handover pageant,
Mm.
but they wanted someone that was very eloquent, articulate, that could speak well, because I was schooling in an environment whereby pidgin English, how far I they be, was the order of the day. Right. And God bless him so much. God bless Ebuka Obi Uchendu, who is a trendsetter.
Mm.
And I think that was when Ebuka started to trend so well. And I think there was a stunt he put at Banky W's wedding for his innovative kimono agbada that he wore for Banky's wedding. And we saw him making a change of outfit at Big Brother shows, and he became a spark that started going so fast and so well.
Mm.
And so, as to having the handover, they wanted someone that could be so articulate. And they're like, this guy now, he speaks English now. He's always speaking English. People should just call him. So I did that. I think that's where it started coming from. I did that. I did a couple of beauty pageants. And my godfather will always tell me, and he will say, anytime I look at you, I see you as a great presenter. When I just look at you, I just see Richard Quest of CNN.
Mm.
That's the way I look at you. And those words were just seeds. Those words were seeds. I would not lie to you. Throughout my years in university, I never said to myself I was going to be a speaker. I always had a mind of I'm going to be a supermodel. I will always take pictures of Otiwan, look at the likes of them. I'll be rehearsing poses in my room and all that. But here was what happened to me. 2019, 2018, I went for Dare to Dream by Kinabuti. And after going for Dare to Dream, after scaling so far in the competition, close to a stage, the semi-finals, I lost to Olamide. Now, Olamide is an excellent model right now. And at that point in time, that might have been a loss for me. But on going through my videos from the competition, Kinabuti, an Italian woman, said, wow, you make a very great presenter. Your personality is so lovely. We have to do something for you. We
Mm.
cannot let you leave this competition like that. And so they paid for my first ever fashion and media masterclass. And that's when I got to experience Samantha Walsh, Pamela Adegoke, I had to, and Dino Lagray, and then Lazy Writer, and I experienced them for the very first time. I had never been to Lagos
Mm.
as that young adult. I was always been in northern Nigeria and back to school. And so that exposure was so much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I started learning. Then I remember this so vividly well, and I hope Samantha sees this. I asked her a question. I said, look at me. Will I make a very I can't really remember the question I really asked her how I coined the question. And she said to me, she said, see the way you held that mic, see the voice that you have. I can't wait to see what you're going to do in years to come. Those words she said were a spark for me in my life. And that was my journey for me started moving on to finding my
Mm.
voice. And I went to the IK talks. And after I finished at IK talks, my life started to see a different turnaround. Then Ike made mention of a transformational woman who brought about a spark in my life, Joyce Daniels. Ike spoke about her in that meeting, spoke about her book. And when I went to find out, I realized that Joyce was coming to Enugu in some few months. So I left Lagos, returned back to Delta where I was. And from Delta, I journeyed to Enugu. And in that meeting, it was like they broke my head open, removed what I knew before, and they put in new knowledge into my head. And that fire had been on till now. And I clearly started understanding, I clearly seeing the importance of what it means to articulate your ideas and what those things actually do for you. That was how my journey started, basically. And I said to myself, if these people can take this thing professionally and earn from it, boy, this is your $1 million empire. Then my slogan became my craft, my power. That was my journey. So now I'm still very shy. So outside my job, I am just, I'm at home sitting down, watching Netflix and chilling or reading a book. But I'm only expressive around people that I find very comfortable, people I can call home. But I'm not so out there, basically. And I think I've come to realize this for so many presenters. We are actually ambiverts. We're in between. We're not really out there.
And
Yeah.
I can understand that because the job requires you to be out there, and there is
Yes.
you almost have like a bipolar kind of personality where you're like, yay, and then when you're in your house, you're like, please, you people.
Exactly.
I mean, I remember when I used to be an educator, and it was a lot because I mean, I've spoken with kids, and I'm home, and my nieces, and I'm like, please, 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 I beg you. I say, mommy, please, this time is for me. Every other person's charge on me alone. So I mean,
So I don't even know.
you're
Yes.
gonna say something.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean,
Yes. So I don't even know if this happens.
I could
I don't know why it
relate.
happens, but go on.
I mean, I could really I really understand because I remember when I used to also work on radio and I used to run children's shows. Right, when I'm done with all of that, I want to be in my house under my blanket,
Exactly.
sipping whatever tea or
Exactly.
juice, whatever.
That is the point. And somebody will now think that you are the life of the party.
No, if you pay us to be, we will be. If you pay me to be the life of
Do
the
you know the
party,
right answer?
excuse me, I'm gonna turn the party inside
Money
out.
brings out the other side.
Do you understand? Pay me first and see if I wanna be life of the.
So most times, if I am not working at an event
Mm,
and I attend the event, honestly, sometimes I feel like the ground should open and let me enter when I walk into the event
no
space.
way.
So if I'm working at an event, I feel like a god of the arena. Oh, my stunning outfit, my presence, I will deliver. In fact, just last weekend, my dad called me and was like, "Oh, I want you to go out, do some events with me." I said, "Dad, I don't like going for events." He was like, "Please come along with me." And I dressed up. I got to the event a bit late. See, when I just moved in, I just felt people's eyes looking at me. I said, "Oh no, can I just go into the ground?" And when I got to my dad, my father was like, "Why are you shy? You used to MC event. Don't you used to MC event? Why are you shy?" I'm like, "You people don't understand though, because it's a different ball game. If I'm holding the microphone now, I have authority.
True.
But here now, without the mic, I don't have authority. But
Mm.
it's just what it is, basically."
Wow, that's really amazing. Now, before you went into your superpower of your voice being your power, have there been any moments where you had to experience stage fright? Means
Oh,
doesn't for someone that doesn't really that you know what, even though I really do love you, but let me just but I mean, is there any moment that you've had to experience it? And just before you answer the question, by the way, we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. We are live on LinkedIn at Jadisola Dewodo and on YouTube at LadyJade Global. And we have some really quick comments on YouTube from my friend and my sister Miriam Maego. She's really following the conversation, and she's giving us all the energy and the laugh in the comment section. Thank you so much,
thank you so much,
Orolua.
Maria.
Miriam. Thank you so much. Yeah. So over to you, having to deal with stage fright and how you've had to overcome it.
So, is there ever a time we don't deal with stage fright? there's never a time we don't deal with stage fright. There's just never a time. But one of the experiences that I remember, I have like three experiences that rings in my head all the time. The first one was in my first year in university, and that was when I started making some deliberate efforts to wanting to really improve on my public speaking. So I studied animal and environmental biology, and in our first year,
I'm sorry.
we had
I'm
to do. Don't
I'm
laugh,
sorry.
don't laugh,
Wait,
don't laugh.
see, I'm sorry. And the reason I'm laughing is because
In my first year,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you, Isaac. I'm sorry. But the reason I'm laughing is because I have
yeah,
observed that most master ceremonies, majority of us, have nothing to do with mass communication. It was never a first degree. Only a few of us, maybe like English major, uh, but the rest, banking, our coach Joyce
true,
Daniel, anatomy. But out, please
true.
continue.
Uh, it's a shock you that I am doing my master's in public health at the moment already.
Continue the conversation.
But yes, so in our first year, we are taxed. So it is like a faculty course, and all the departments are put together to do the faculty course. Then we are shared into groups. So my group members looked at me and were like, initial gra now. I'm not so shy, but neither am I so well put together. Like, you will present for us. I'm like, oh, okay. So fortunately, or rather, unfortunately, but fortunately for me, but unfortunately for them, we now became the last group to present. Annoyingly, we all were speaking on the same topic,
Oh wow.
not even different topics, on the same topics. So that very day, at the 1,000 seater, it got to my group store. I stood up, I climbed up the stage, looking at everybody. And the next thing I said was, my name is Isaac Erikemo, blah, blah, blah. I literally said the words blah, blah, blah. And I
No,
got off the
wait, let me
stage.
laugh.
Honest, you can laugh now, yeah? But it doesn't sound, as at then, it was so funny, right? Because for a while, I was nicknamed blah, blah, blah in
Oh
school,
no.
right?
Oh no.
I failed that course, so
Jesus.
I failed it, and everybody passed. And that was a botany course. I will never forget. That was a botany course, right? But that was the time. It was unfortunate for me then, but it was also fortunate for me at the same time because that was the time that I started paying attention. I'm like, come on, what do these people even have that they can speak in? What do they actually have? And I started to pay deliberate attention, watch the news. I have consumed Siristoba. I have consumed Jire Kolafukureji. I have consumed Imoni Amarire or John Bello of AIT. I have consumed these guys like so much before I started even seeing the likes of Nifemi and Michael Kochi on TVC. I've been consuming these people from AIT and NTA, the AM Express show, Miriam Anazudo and the other ladies. I've been consuming them a whole lot and turning my radio into the foreign scene, watching the video, just to really understand what do these guys actually have because that mocking moment for me was the intentional journey for me to really say, I want to get this head on. In fact, that journey really sparked me into writing an ebook, Overcoming Stage Fright and Speaking with Confidence, because in every day of our lives, we experience stage fright. In fact, just last week, I was contracted to do an event at the Belgium embassy, and I still had some, butterflies in my tummy. But now I've come to realize that I do not react, but instead I respond to those emotions. I've come to understand that stage fright is an emotion. And it's now dependent on how I deal with it that brings out a very good result. But if I react to it, obviously I'll be timid forever. But if I respond to it, I will outgrow it. In fact, it made so much sense to me when one of the world's greatest idols, Beyonce, in an interview says she still has stage fright. And then now it used to be my yardstick, but not anymore because now I have some certain deeper understanding and deeper knowledge. Then I used to say, if Beyonce will have stage fright, could they pay for my not to have stage fright? After she will dance and do everything, and she used to have stage fright. Well, I have stage fright, gun, 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 gun. And that was one of the first experiences for me that, my goodness, it wasn't so nice. And even after I had gone for trainings, I think I also had it again at the Delta annual Thanksgiving.
Mm.
I had that stage fright of a thing. And it was someone, one of the backup singers at that Thanksgiving, that whispered some certain words to me that made me put my confidence in track. But more importantly, even when I had become so very solid, I will never forget. In the year 2022, I was hosting my last round of the Delta Queen Beauty pageant. That was my last year with the brand on my contract. And at first, perhaps I did not react to that properly, but I will tell you how that story went out. So the event had commenced, it was going on smoothly well, and I went backstage to have a change of outfit. And I returned back on stage, and someone from one of the tables sitting in the hall said, the person echoed, low budget Ibuka. That's what the person said. Now, at that time, I had never seen or experienced anything of such. And for the very first time, me hosting a beauty pageant, I know my lines. I know my onions with beauty because I have done it before. And coming to host a beauty pageant for the very first time in years, I stuttered delivering my lines when I heard that. Now the guy did it the second time, he did it the third time, and he threw me off balance
No.
because the hall wasn't noisy. Everyone in the hall could hear low budget Ibuka. At that point in time, I felt slighted. I took a break from the stage, told the DJ to play music for me to go backstage and gather myself together again. My dear, I came back again. I heard it low budget Ebuka, and it rang in my head. My legs were shaking, my hands were shaking. And at that point in time, there were so many mixed feelings coming through my head. Is it that I'm not doing something correct? Is it that I'm doing something wrong? Is it that I am extruding too much of this particular person? I am not being real. I'm not being original at that point in time. And the fifth time, when the guy will do it again, that was when I summoned some courage to address him. Now, I will never forget my exact words I used in addressing him. And let me quote it again. I had to pause the DJ. And I said, DJ, please hold on. And I said, I expect such gutter behavior in quotes from people who are the regular seat. But today it is so clear that you have bought a table of 3 million naira and you still lack some courtesy to be prim and proper in a public gathering. Now, for the record, my name is Isaac Erikino. And if for the umpteenth time you will echo that phrase again, I would ask the bouncers to walk you out of this hall. I don't know where that strength came from, but the moment I
That's
said it,
it.
the entire hall arose in serious clap, a serious clapping ovation. And after I addressed that, like I felt a
Morale will be very
I think
high.
I'm
Like I'm
okay.
in control.
I
This
think
is
I
my
have I
stage.
have controlled this event. I think I've controlled this call right now. But years passed, and I was discussing this same scenario with a friend, and my friend said he took it so seriously. As I then someone called you Ibuka. You should have been grateful now. The person was seeing Ibuka, but not Ibuka in his full glory. So my friend was like, "Yeah, I should have taken it so very lightly." I'm like, my guy, at that point in time, it didn't come to me as a compliment. It came to me as a dent. And man, it shook me off balance.
Mm.
So I think says even the very best of us experiences stage fright, but what we do at that point in time is a game changer.
Wow. Isaac, I am blown. This is a masterclass on how to give a comeback because Lord, oh Lord, if I in the comment section, Miriam is like, "Who are you, please? Who are you?"
I, till today, I can't really remember how those words came together. But when I said them, I'd never forget them. Like I never forget those words I gave to that guy. And funnily, at the end of the
He came to
event, he
apologize.
came backstage to shake me. He came backstage to shake me and apologize. I was like, ah, my guy, my guy, my guy. And he gave me 50,000 naira
No,
at the end of the event.
for me. That
To
is
to make
how,
matters very interesting,
yeah,
to make matters very interesting, we see communicate right now. He's a hype man.
no way. I mean, for me, that is how to
Yes.
give a very eloquent comeback without necessarily dragging yourself in the mud. Like, because I'm literally going through the motions, and in my head, I'm thinking how you were able to put yourself together and look this person straight in the eye and say, "Excuse me, if you try it again."
It wasn't. It sounds very easy now, no, but that day it wasn't easy. It wasn't a joke. I would never forget. It wasn't a joke, and that was one of the reasons that even made me to stop hosting beauty pageants. I'm like, I think I'm going to take a break from beauty pageants because oh no,
Wow.
I took a break from beauty pageants after then.
It,
Yes, I did.
and that's one of the things that we face even as master of ceremonies, where people that don't understand the value of our work sometimes they throw jabs, and sometimes at the expense
True,
of your reputation. And and that brings me to the
true.
place of emotional intelligence. How have you been able to navigate, beyond that experience? How have you been able to navigate, that when it comes to clients? And I mean, I feel like I'm jumping ahead of myself, but now that we are in this zone, how have you been able to deal with certain
Yes.
kind of clients that, because they do not know you, they then want to undermine or feel like, oh, you're not someone that we are used to. Are you sure you're going to deliver? Are you? How do you navigate that terrain?
Honestly speaking, the work we do as communicators, either as broadcasters or compares, as the case may be, it's a very crucial work that requires heavy emotional intelligence and making people to see your worth, to pay you what you're worth. Because you hear some people say, pay you 500,000 for what? It's not just to talk. Are you a bovie? Are you a because they begin to call very big names, trying to intimidate you. And I smile at them most times and I'm like, oh really? I'm not bovie, but you can call bovie.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can call bovie. So most times I have learned some few things about brand identity that tends to help me put some clients in their place, right? And also ensuring that I have a standout portfolio and ensuring that my portfolio speaks for me. So I always tell upcoming MCs, ensure that your social media is speaking well for you, right? Ensure that even after some certain events, some key event that you're going to go for, get good reviews because reviews from some very some reviews from HNIs can put some clients in their place. In fact, I had an experience most recently. Um, I just recently moved into Abuja, yeah, and trying to navigate the ecosystem and put my place in a place whereby you can pay me what I'm actually through truly worth. So obviously, I had done some free gigs, and there used to be this particular individual I had done some free gigs for, and he keeps coming back, right? And menial menial money. Uh, And so this year, I smiled and said, never again. Never will it happen again. And when he came, I sent him my rate card. I said, this is my rate card, but your family and friend, I can give you this amount of discounts. And he complained and he shrugged it off. And I said, okay, fine, no problem. And when he came back, I said, sorry, I can't do your event anymore. But I said it in the most very polite way. He came back and said, oh, we can offer you this. I'm like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. This is not going to cover my basic operational costs. And so I can't do this as a desk. I will respect the friendship that we have, but to work for you based on these grounds, I would not do that. So I've come to realize that there are some cases whereby you need to learn how to say no, like a very strong capital N and capital O. And you also have to be very assertive and weigh the options that you have. If I'm going to do this lesser than what I actually charge, what other benefits do I stand to gain? Will I be securing great networking opportunities? Will I be securing better clients with this kind of event? Boost my portfolio better and boost my portfolio up. So weigh these other options. But if they would not do any of this and they don't want to pay, ngwanu, save about because it takes a whole lot to show up. Like it takes a whole lot to show up. I don't want to even just talk about the outward appearance, the outfit, the looks, and all. The time you spend
To
in
research.
preparing for that event, that you
Yeah.
now begin to absorb. the norms. In fact, let's give an example. Like, let's say you're hosting an event in the financial sector, how you begin to absorb the terms and technologies, and how you become a finance person under how many short period of time, and at the same time you still communicate the ideas, the vision, the objectives of this event to the audience. You use your words, how you take your time to prepare, craft words that will put the ideas and the vision of the clients in the minds of the people with your words. It's no small feat, it's no small work. Then, more importantly, they are paying for your experience, because some
Yeah.
events will go haywire, and it is because of the experience that you have, you're able to restore order to the event, and someone will not come and trivialize my work. No. If you come and you come with respect for my work, and genuinely the money is not there, it's the love of what we do. Why not? We can always help you out, right? But when you come and you commonize my work, like what I want to do doesn't mean anything, and that's where the problem is. So I've over time learned to just strike clients, study them, understand their personality. Like today, I had a client's brief today, and I spent over 3 hours. The funny thing is, the meeting was scheduled for 12. I was there 12:05. The meeting started by 2 o'clock. I almost wanted to get angry and shout at the client and all and all and all. But I did not even know that the owner of the company, this was the first time I was meeting him, he was actually giving me a test, because ideally he did not succumb to me being the master of ceremony for the event to take place later ending of this month. He was actually looking for someone much more older in terms of age, and so that was his test. He said, "Oh, a regular young person might be feeling agitated and jittery about what would you keep me here for like 2 hours, and begin to make noise and all." It was I was like, "Oh," I was so calm. He came in, I greeted him, I greeted his staff politely. I said hello to everyone. I got into his office. We got talking. I got talking. I was like, I've kept this guy waiting for 2 hours. This guy is still talking very calmly and so very like it. At the end of the meeting, he now said that what he did was intentional, right? So sometimes there's certain things that we just need to learn. Have some certain bit of emotional intelligence, have some certain bit of leading. Yes, very important. Leading of the Spirit of God. Yes, very important. We cannot joke with that. That is even at the forefront of it. When the Spirit of God tells you, "Oh, take on this," you take it on. Like you know that, yes, this is for me. In fact, I lost a contract of recent, and clearly I had it in my spirit, you're not going to get it. And what did I
Hmm.
do? I had done something wrong. I knew I did something wrong. My father has always taught me that man will never take the place of God in my life. And for this particular contract, because it was a government contract, I had relied so much on a member of the planning committee. And I heard it very clear on the 1st of November, waking up into the morning, "You are going to lose this contract, and this is the reason why. Next time, do not place your trust in man." It pained me, I cried. But I've come to realize that whatever we are doing, whether as communicators, whether as anything we do in life, the Spirit of God plays a very crucial and pivotal role in helping us succeed.
Fantastic. And excuse me, just as you were saying that the line in our benediction in Celebration Church International, we have our benediction, and it says, "We serve God by His Spirit. We boast in Christ Jesus. We put no confidence in the flesh." And that, as you were speaking, that was a line that um, became really strong in my mind, and I honestly can relate, because I understand that there are times where God would you there's and sometimes it's just in how you sense it. You feel uncomfortable taking on some jobs where you're like, no, I should be able to ask for this. Or you feel a certain type of restraint. You're like, I don't feel like I should be in this. I don't feel like I should work. I don't. There's a bit of hesitation. There's a fear. There's an answer. You're wondering, God, what's going on? Why do I feel like this? So I completely can relate with all of these expressions that you said, and it's very, very important that even as master of ceremonies, beyond putting ourselves out there, we need to trust in God. We need to believe in God and know that God is the one that opens the door. I remember speaking to
So,
a colleague of ours, and I was like, babe, how are you getting all these gigs? And she was like, that God is my peer. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't understand. I did not pay God to be PR Fini. You know?
you see the statement. Who? This statement can make you cry because you know you used to ask me, God, what have I done wrong? God, is it that? Oh God, what have I? You will put cap and be like, God, what have I done wrong?
You
Give me more
actually remove
shade. God, look me now. God, shine your torchlight on me now. Because why is it that God, am I not existing? Then you begin to ask yourself that is it that I'm not good enough? Is it
Am
that
I
you
not
don't
your
like
child again?
me? Ah, but God is God because if you begin to check what He has done for you still tell Him thank you. My
I
God.
mean, that is very very correct. Which is why scripture says that you do not remember the former things. Just focus on the
Mm,
goodness of God. Now, um, being a brand communication strategist, I understand that it involves telling stories in such a way that captures the heart of your prospective client, and you play in a highly competitive industry, which is the real estate industry. And I understand that the knowledge and the expertise that you've gained as a communicator, as a master of ceremonies, as a public speaker would also help. But how are you able to play such roles, smoothly without one affecting the other? Because one moment you're
what?
talking real estate, deed of this, deed of that, this acre, this hectare, this duplex, this story building, this off plan, this not plan. This because I've also played in that industry, and I know how intense it could be, because there are also other related industries that are vying for the same clients that you're vying for the
True,
market share that you want to take
true,
hold of. And
true.
understanding the city where you play in, sometimes the event that we met last year, you could hear the number of M's that people were just, you you know,
Yeah,
yeah, you know. And
true.
they're like,
Uh,
and you're like, oh my god, how can I get these same people? And again, there's also the place of the number of people that you bring in. You also get your commission aside your salary. So how are you able to balance all of this side by side, being a public speaker and a corporate communicator
quite,
and a
quite,
corporate
quite a
sorry?
very interesting one. Quite a very interesting one because first, I love my job, right? In fact, just today, I had a sober reflection, and I said, like, God, I'm so very grateful for the gift of oratory. I'm very grateful for it because it's no small feat. How I'm able to express myself, articulate my ideas, and still help people convey their objectives with my words engrafted in people's minds is no small feat. So before I came into real estate, I was in the development sector, right?
Hmm.
I was working as a comms executive in the development sector. And towards the end of last year, I said, I want to take on something new. I have worked for quite a number of brands as a development communications expert, from MacArthur Foundation to Gallup, just a couple of them. I'm like, I think I want to try something new, something challenging, something that is going to scare me, it's going to take me out of small thinking. And a few months down the line, a few months into the new year, my friend came and said, "Oh, hi, Isaac. Come and model for my company." That's how it came. Oh, we need you to just
Hmm.
shoot some ads for us. We want to use you for billboards and flyers and all and all. I'm like, oh, interesting. That's game. How much was the numbers? What are we talking about? The numbers we're talking about. And I was like, okay, these are the numbers. And we came to an agreement. And after we did that, in process of having conversations and sharing insights, the next thing was like, have fun, my guy. Come and partner with me now and just become my head of comms and partnerships. Since you really understand this comms thing, or you really understand this particular thing, even. And I was like, okay, can I think about it? Yeah.
Hmm.
And trying to think about it, I'm like, you told yourself you want to do something new, and now it's
Something
thrown
new.
to you on a platter of gold, thrown to you on a platter of gold, and you're not doing that. So I had to ensure that you structure a contract that is flexible for me. I understand how my job as master of ceremony can be, and I really understand how the ember months can be for a master of ceremony. So
Yeah.
we have a structure in such a way that, oh, I mustn't come to the office, right? So I can still have time to do other things, but I can do my deliverables. I work very closely with my team members to ensure that things are being carried out, right? But at the core of it, you find to see that there is a string attaching all the jobs, either as a master of ceremony, either as a radio or TV host, or as a podcast host, or as a commission executive. And at the core of it is storytelling.
Hmm.
And after doing our due diligence, just as a master of ceremony, you need to understand the audience you're going to speak to host an event. It's the same thing I also need to understand here working in real estate. Who are our target audience? What is the language of my target audience? What are the demographics of my target audience? How do I connect to them? And this is done Ariwa. And I know for a certainty, Ariwa people, they are attracted to Ariwa people. They are attracted to, oh, he looks like money, so we can be able to give him 1 billion naira. Or he looks like this, and we can be able to give him our this. In fact, I have had the most randoms of meetings give me the most profiting and juiciest partnerships. And it's just so funny how it works. So now when somebody asks me, oh, hi, what do you do? I tell you, oh, I work at the intersection of media, corporate communications, and real estate. I help brands communicate effectively on stage and on screen. And that's how I get the attention of people. Oh, how do you couple media, corporate communication, and real estate? They want to know, they are intrigued. And I tell you story of my life. Then from my story of my life, I will now tell you why you need to have a property as an investment. Then I now begin to go for the after psyche. You're like, you want to buy and build house, you want to buy and flip, or you want to, so I will find a way to chip into the conversation. And in no time, we are signing papers, we are signing this. In fact, just today, I spent 2 hours talking to two women, and their 60 million naira came in. Just jokingly, like jokingly, a promo offer. And the funny, what I've come to realize here is in this terrain is never underestimate anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to give you 100 million, 200 million, you never can
You
tell.
never know.
The most random woman I met today, she wore her atampa and covered the veil and wore slippers and was walking, but she could comfortably give you 60 million naira without stress. In fact, I remember um, when my partner closed a deal of close to 350 million. Man that wears slippers and shirts. It was after my friend went to do research, my friend now found out that, oh, this man is not a regular man, no. He's Odogo Atakata himself. You know, so I've just come to realize that people are the center of it all, and the truth is a shield. The truth will always set you free. I don't believe in the, oh, speak this, sugarcoat them to come in. I always tell every comms person, go and watch Scandal season 1, season 7. Scandal is a strong movie that shows you the role of communications, how communications even controls the media and controls the narrative of the media. But one at the core of that movie, you just know that no matter how you try to twist the truth is the truth, and the truth will always set you free. The Bible wasn't joking. So for me, I've come to learn it. The truth is my greatest armor. When I'm talking to a client, when I'm talking to anybody, I don't need to sugarcoat you. I don't need to lie to you. I don't need to coerce you to want to invest. No, I tell you the truth as it is and how it can be able to benefit you. If it's going to benefit you, I'll tell you, Alpha, this particular thing doesn't suit your target. So for me, the truth has been my superpower. And understanding that, oh, people have to be able to trust you to give you their millions. And that's why I come on board with human forward storytelling, human centric storytelling,
Hmm.
understanding that, oh, the people that are around here are very simple people. You don't need to do too much to get their attention. Just a very few seconds, you've gotten their attention. Obviously, I put it in that light. In fact, moving on into real estate, my first 2 months, I flopped. There's some strategies that had brought in that did not work so fine. And we lost money because why? We had spent in money to produce the ads, we have spent in money to sponsor the ads, and they never converted.
Hmm.
They never converted. I am that blunt to tell people that, oh yes, I have failed though, and I failed woefully. I will not always come and tell you that, oh, also the content relationship I've upscaled. It's a lie. My first 2 months, I did not upskill anything though. My first 2 months, the company ran at a very serious loss.
Hmm.
Ran at a very serious loss. But after that, I learned from those mistakes. I picked up and I fired on. And since then, it has been bliss moving forward, right? But I will always see this as a business person, when you're always coming to the table with strong value, always know how to price your value. Because one thing I did coming to real estate, I did not rely on just salaries or commissions. I would not work my head so hard. At the end of the day, I would not partake in the national cake.
Hmm.
So being here, I have some percentages as with the annual profiting. Aside me just getting salaries, getting the regular commissions. No, I'm working so hard, getting partnerships done. Just in a period of 4 months, I've secured 4 partnerships with other bigger companies that are bigger than us, right? And it's just what it is basically. So if you're working so much hard, don't overshoot, but still protect yourself. Very important. Very
Wow,
important.
thank you
But
so
at
much.
the core of it all, human
Hmm.
storytelling is the core.
I mean, honestly, I feel like this is something that every brand communicator needs to understand because we were raised to work, earn salaries, if possible, get commission and do what you can. Now, in that process, were there times where you had to find ways to educate yourself, or was it your organization that had to put you in the right? I mean, aside from your experience in the developmental space, what were the deliberate things that you had to do, considering the failures that you had in the first 2 months? So
Quite, quite,
what were those deliberate things that you did, knowing that I'm in this real estate space, and like you rightly said, beyond the commission, beyond the salary, partnership. What conversations did you have? Who did you have these conversations with? What informed that decision to think partnership beyond the salaries and the commission?
okay, so in my time in development sector, I worked for an American brand. And when I worked for an American brand, I got to realize that one of the strongest ways most foreign companies tend to make their staff loyal, they give them percentage of the profiting, aside salary and the likes of it all. But that doesn't work so much in Nigeria. Nigerians are very prone towards my own, my own, my own, my own. If a Nigerian has spent so much in your company, the next thing they want to do is they want to go and open theirs. And I learned from my dad so very quickly. My father is in FMCGs and agriculture, and it's supposed to be a family business. But apparently, my other brothers are pastors, and they're not even anywhere close to where we call home, right? And there's a staff that's working with us for more than 10 years. My father
Hmm.
calls me and said, "Oh, Alpha, this is the document. I'm giving you a percentage of the profiting, annual profiting. You have your commission base, you still collect salary. My father pays his house rent. My mother pays the school fees of his children. At the end of the month, my parents usually, that has been tradition for years, at the end of the month, they always give food stuff to all the staff.
Now tell me why they will
So
leave the office. No, tell me why they will not dwell and
they will
tabernacle.
not leave the office. So they can never leave the office. In
Why
fact,
would
in the
they
past with my
leave?
father, in fact, we don't see them as staff. We see them as family because
Family.
towards the end of the year, we will all sit down together, laugh, gist, and eat together. My mother and the female staff in the company will cook the food, and we'll all sit down together and eat it. So to us, whether Muslim, whether Christian, whether Kogi, whether Benue, in this place, we are passionate family. We don't know
Hmm.
whatever you're from. So I learned that partnership thing from my dad, right?
Hmm.
But in a few time, when I knew that I was going to go into real estate, there are three companies that came to mind that I started keenly observing. Bilad, Cosgrove, Brinton Hammers. These are Nigerian brands, but they do not operate like the regular Nigerian real estate brands. They're not always in your faces, but they have massive investments in the city of Abuja. And I love their branding. I love their communication. So I started paying attention, keen attention. I was consuming YouTube videos. There's some people that I was consuming their videos like mad. Paul Fo is one person that I was consuming like mad. I bought books. I had to read because I've come to realize that one of the very what you don't know, you don't know. And as in our local palace, they will say, "Person we ask question, know the miss
Not the
road."
loss.
So I am never shy. I am never afraid to ask questions. In fact,
Mm.
I think I clearly asked you today, how does LinkedIn Live work?
Yeah.
I'm not go claim say I know. I'm not lie you. I will shall ask questions so that why? Person will ask question today, I will not falter tomorrow. Because why? When I ask today, I would know it today and I will know it for myself. So there are some people that I quickly connected with. And thank God for LinkedIn. There are people that you can quickly connect to when you send them a very good DM, they want to open. And beautifully well. I think something that really helped me also was the network that I've been able to grow by being a master of ceremony. So I've been privileged to host key real estate events in Abuja.
Mm.
And being a master of ceremony puts you at the center stage. And so I've been
Mm-hmm.
at a space whereby so many people, as I then hosted this event, they thought I was in real estate. But at then, I was never in real estate, but I had connected with quite a number of them. And so when it was time for me to reach out to them and ask three questions, and what did I do? I didn't ask questions directly. I'll be like, oh, sir, can I come to your office for a courtesy visit? They'll be like, oh, why not? Sure, come around. And I'm going there, I buy a bottle of wine.
Mm.
I buy a bottle of wine and I take it along. I know that the Hausa men don't take wine, so I get a box of well curated biscuit and chocolate and all that, and I take it along. So I came with this gift. Oh, they take to sit down, start having conversations, start talking, and I will ask my questions in the heat of that conversation, and I will get my answers.
Mm.
So those are the things that I did. In fact, I know that I did. I still do. I still do. In fact, tomorrow I have a call scheduled with someone tomorrow who is connecting me with a real estate person in Accra, Ghana. I'm looking at how my company can get partnership in Accra, Ghana. And it's because of someone that I had met some weeks ago at a dinner party I went to MC. And it's like, oh, I work in real estate. I said, oh, really? Okay, come along, call my number. And we had conversations. Okay, I want to connect to this person. And that's how it works. So being a master of ceremony, I leverage the network I have and I still bring it over here into real estate. And at the core of it, I am never shy to ask questions. My friend, who is my partner, has been in real estate for more than 10 years. He has been in real estate since he was a student in university. So he had street knowledge, formal knowledge, gone to real estate school, gone to social person school, gone to learn. He has worked for quite reputable people and he has built an expertise. I am never shy to ask him a question. When I'm handling a
Mm.
client and the conversation is going south, I'm like, Ola, this is the problem I have. Tell me now.
Mm.
So yes, I've consumed books, watched YouTube videos, asked questions, and go miss road.
Wow. I'm blown away. I must say, I'm seriously blown away, and I really enjoy the the strength of your intentionality, understanding that, and having the mindset that it is the person who asks questions that doesn't get lost, and knowing that, and having that confidence, and knowing that when you ask questions, knowing how to graze the palm, not in a negative way, but in the place of recognizing honor, because it takes emotional intelligence to know that when you're going to, I mean, just like um um, um there's usually this banter. I can't say it verbatim, but they say that when you never go to the house of a king empty-handed.
Empty-handed, yes.
And every person, like when like you has mentioned earlier, never underestimating who people are, that they wear slippers doesn't mean that they are paupers. And that's what mistake Lagosians
True.
make a lot. That's besides the
It's a different
point.
ballgame here
Right.
in Abuja.
Do you get, because I mean, how I had a glimpse of that when I hosted that event that we first met. And there was the guy regular t-shirt,
Yeah.
what's that thing, pound sandals, and he did some serious seven figures, eight figures. And I'm like, oh, oh, daddy, daddy, stop
My
it.
dear,
And
that is how they are. That is if
like,
we see we that dress so much now. We didn't have we have wear cap, we have wear kaftan now, we have gash up. Mm-mm. If they say bring 1 billion now, we go the shift now, the belly head. But the bros we wear short knicker and shirt, you go see and you go drop and you no go look back.
I mean, it's so mind blowing, and I'm really glad that you were able to, because for me, two things that I picked from that is being able to see beyond the immediate connection to a place of value. What value can I add to this person? What what gap can I fill in this person with the expertise that I have, looking for solutions to offer, and then also being a key player, being an active participant in connections, which is very, very important. Now, I know that you had done a series of trainings in public speaking, and you had mentioned a podcast, right? Um, what was that born from? What was that born from? Was it from the place of having to educate younger people, or you just felt like from the wealth of knowledge that you have, you just want to share with those that are probably coming, or those that need to know about public speaking or being a master of ceremonies?
Freely have I received, but freely I will not give.
Love it.
So, buy the truth and sell it not, right? But first, one of the first reasons I started sharing knowledge was the fact that I think I buy into that school of thought. I want to be a chef. I go to a culinary school. I want to be a mechanic. I'll go and become an apprentice under Oga Mechanic. You know, and I've come to realize that as speakers, as public speakers as we are, as MCs as we are, there isn't that formal training for you to really understand and say, this is the A to Z of public speaking, or the A to Z of being a master of ceremony. In fact, it
Mm.
will even shock you to know that for you to attend the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, if you're a master of ceremony of over 5 years, you're qualified to attend.
What did you say? That say that again.
Yes,
Say that again.
you're qualified to attend the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations if you're a master of ceremony with over 5 years of experience. So you don't need
Okay.
to even have a requisite degree in mass communication. Being an active master of ceremony, you can actually go take a diploma and become a member of the NIPR. But fast forward, so that was one of the major reasons that I wanted to share knowledge, right? Because I
Mm.
get people coming to my DM, oh, how do you do this? How do you navigate this? How do you this? How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do this? And we have done this over time. I've not been so consistent with it. I have done it in back. I did a 101 virtual coaching. We had over 10 persons. Still late in the middle of the year, we had a public speaking session where we trained other people. And I've embarked, I've carried on some clients and all and all. But spending my time as a communications executive, I'm beginning to see that so many executives, they also need to understand the art and the act of public speaking, because some of them lack the basic skills to articulate their ideas, to present in front of boards, and to do a whole lot of things, right? But majorly, my sole reason for training people was to pass knowledge and to ensure that we have more better speakers as we come. Because it will shock you that glossophobia, which is the fear of public speaking, is the second most dreaded fear in the world.
Yeah.
And you're asking yourself, how do people wield influence? They wield influence by articulating their ideas. Name every great person you can think of. In every sector, in every industry, they are articulate, astute speakers. Nelson Mandela, Okonjo-Iweala, Obi Ezekwesili. Name them. These people are good speakers. They understand the art and the act of public speaking. They have high emotional intelligence. So I always say this, right? Learning the art and act of public speaking that doesn't necessarily make you a master of ceremony, right? As a master of ceremony, having the art and the act of public speaking is a skill added to you, yes. But mastering an event is a different thing on its own. But the skill of public speaking is a skill that everybody needs to learn, because leave it or take it, we all are public speakers. Whether you are selling your cloth every day, buy two, get one free, buy two, get one free, you're a public speaker. Whether you are
Mm-hmm.
advertising your church program to someone, you're a public speaker. So in one way or the other, it's either you're passing information, it's either you're educating someone or entertaining someone or even persuading someone. Everybody at one point in time is a public speaker, and we all need to master that gift. It's not a talent. I do not agree that it's something that is naturally born. I do not agree to that school of thought. It is skill that can be learned, that can be harnessed, and that can be maximized. And I say it without holding back. When I say I'm grateful for the gift of oratory, oratory has put me in rooms. Oratory has put me in spaces. And one of the things that's making me thrive in real estate is the fact that I've been able to get network from being a master of ceremony. The people I have come to meet, they freely give you their number. MC, MC, we call it number. Oh, thank you very much, sir. And we learn how to maximize that connection. And that's what's helping me in my real estate journey. So whatsoever thing that you do, whatsoever industry that you find yourself, public speaking is a must. And when you don't know how to, when you don't know, when you become a good public speaker, then you now know how to tell stories, then that's where there's human connection. So there's the art and the art of public speaking, and there is the art of human connection. And I started really understanding this by following this lady called Simeon Heng. Simone Henk has done wonderfully well in radio, on Asian radio, and now she's now beginning to explore the world of human connection, and which is what so many people actually miss out from. Sometimes I ask myself as masters of ceremony, there's some MCs that MC an event, and you're like, oh my God, who is this person? Why do I feel like this guy is talking to? Why do I feel like this lady is talking to me? They've connected with you. They've understood the art of human connection. You are still at the level of public speaking. Then they've gone deeper now to human connection. So it is one thing to articulate your ideas. It's another to connect well with any kind of audience.
Wow. We've hit the 1 hour mark. And I'm tempted to want to go deeper in human connection. But I don't want to be disconnected because
I will leave that
I've had
question
quite a
for
long
another
day.
day. I'm still joining in it. I'm still joining in the human connection. I've been using my
Mm,
2 years, late 2 years, to really fully want to grasp the science behind human connection. And there's some
mm,
people that will that so easily.
mm.
There what you don't know, you don't know. What you know. And that's the difference.
Thank
That's
you
the
so much,
difference.
Isaac Erikemo. Oh my goodness. I'm
Thank
glad.
you so much for having me.
I feel blessed to be connected to you. I'm grateful that I
My
got to
sister
bring
in
you on
Christ.
the show. I mean, you never know the value of the people that you have until you get to have conversation like, he's busy. I say so. What am I doing with my life? What exactly am I doing with my destiny? God, when you are
Hold
creating
on.
these people,
You have it.
where was
You
I under the
you
mango tree? Was I
you
in the
have a
garden
whole
of
lot
Eden
going
eating
on.
apple? Eh?
You have a whole lot going on in your pocket. You have a whole lot going on in your pocket. You have a whole
Don't
lot
mind
going on in your
me.
pocket.
Don't mind
We're
me.
we're not going to spill your beans now, but we're going to be clapping for you on social media, basically. Well
Let's
done.
breathe. Let's
Well
breathe.
done.
But thank you so much,
Well
Isaac, for
done.
doing this with me. And I mean, definitely by next year, it's going to be bigger and better. And I will personally drag you to calm down, because they're working on something for next year. But thank you for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a honor, a pleasure, and utmost delight having a very engaging, intensive, and educating conversation with the one, the only Isaac Erikamu, corporate MC
Thank you so
extraordinaire.
much. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
Before we end this conversation, let's say thank you to all the people that are ensuring that younger MCs like us get a head step in our
Yeah,
lives. The likes of Joyce Daniels, like of Ike
yeah,
Sekeyodua, the likes
yeah,
of what's his name again? Um, Benga Oyin. No, that's not his first name. Oyinso. Yes. So
yes,
my time at TVC Communications, I learned a whole lot from TT Oyinso, and it was
yeah.
beautiful, really so
Wow,
beautiful. A very big
fantastic,
thank you to all the people who are paving the ways for younger ones like us to be fine. Thank you so much to all
fantastic.
of them.
Thank you, Isaac, and thank you to all of our pay setters, the IKs of this world, the Joyce Daniels, the Mr. and Mrs. Oyinso. Thank you. Gemileke, yes, that's his name. I was trying to remember his name. Gemileke Oyinso and Tito Oyinso. Thank you so much to our superheroes, because if you didn't do it, we didn't know I was gonna up. But thank you so much.
I'm telling you.
So thank you so much,
All
Isaac.
right, thank you. It's a
Have
chilly
a
night here in the city of
lovely
Abuja. It's about to rain, but have fun and good night.
good night. Stay safe. I might call you
Stay
later.
safe.
Let me wrap up the show
Not a
first.
problem.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, guys, there you have it. I mean, if I were you, I will come back to this replay and watch it again because this is a very, very immersive conversation. Once again, this is Find Your Voice and Own Your Space with Jade Sola Adeodun, aka Lady J Global. Till I come your way again next week for another amazing, robust conversation with the next voice. Bye for now.